Welcome back everyone to another Pink Slips ball review. Today we are doing the Storm Absolute Power. We have these three very talented players. They're going to be squaring off in a 5-frame match to determine who is going to lose their bowling ball to one of you. Make sure you subscribe and comment down below for a chance to win. We're going to get into the roll-off. The high count gets to determine the order of the match. If they tie, it's whatever bowling ball gets there first. I'm going to count them down. 3, 2, 1, go! I think we had a tie at 9, but Kyle got there first, I believe. So Kyle's going to be determining the order of the match, and we're going to get this match started. Ryan Riley, Kyle King, newcomer, Katie Hurley, basically maybe straighter player. Are you a stroker these days? I don't think so. I don't think so. Who do you think's more at the bottom between you two? Probably Kyle. Still Ryan by a little bit. Yeah, Ryan's got more resume. Yeah. All right, let's see. Katie, first shot. Oh, and you guys don't get a lot of practice on this lane. No. So it's hard to really know exactly what it's doing. Katie started off extremely well in the Summit Peak video, so you guys can check that out. So Ryan, we'll start off with you. I think you dubbed this the house shot killer. Yes. Has that been true? Yeah, I like it. It's been pretty good. Yeah. So. Yeah, and Ryan and Katie shot the comparison ball review on this ball, so they've had it now for a few weeks. Yeah. And so we can really see and check in with them of how it's doing relative to their initial impressions. So, Katie, how has this ball been relative to your initial impressions when we shot the comparison video? Has it been pretty close to what you thought in that video, or has it grown on you, or the opposite? Yeah, I think in the video I gave it a fire rating, and I think it's actually kind of a nuts rating. Oh, really? It's been really good, yeah. Okay. I use it in league. Okay. Like third game when the lanes were just kind of awful, a little squirrely, and it got me out of trouble. So nice. I would probably change my rating now to nuts. I really like this ball. So yeah. Oh, wow, that's good. Now I remember in the comparisons video you talked about needing to maybe put surface on it. Did you end up putting surface on it? Did that help, or you left it as is? I left it as is. Okay. Yeah, I didn't add surface or anything. I figured I could wait till like I bowl a tournament to kind of, you know, adjust the surface a little bit, but I kept it as is for league, and I really liked it. So yeah. Back to striking there, man. Yeah. So Kyle, for this bowling ball, what's close in the what's comparable to you in the other SPL? Wow.
We're gonna throw it back a little bit. So I would say something. If I was to put this ball into a spot, I would say that it's right in between a Code X and an Alpha Crux. Okay. In terms of just like the strength level of the cover stock, it does shape very similar to an Alpha Crux to me, but but the cover to me is weaker. So the core numbers and the core might be a little bit stronger than the Alphas was. I believe that's the case, but I'd have to go back and check. But sure, I would say it's like a smidge weaker than a Alpha Crux was. So for me, it shapes really, really well in the mid lane. So that's why I think that a lot of people really like this ball in the house shot, because typically you don't need the strongest ball, you don't need the skiddiest, flippiest ball of all time. You need something kind of in that middle ground usually for most people. And this ball seems it rolls really good for me. My only struggle with it is when it gets tough going through the pins, because the ball doesn't tell you really quickly to put it down. Is that it's always shaping really well, but sometimes if it doesn't go through the pins, you might need to go to something else. Got it. But it always gives you a good true feel of the lane. All right, Katie getting a strike on the board. She's got spare strike to start. Kyle, single to start. And Ryan, how did you feel about that first shot? Just kind of get dialed in?
It's awful. I just missed lefts. I already have them like this. So if I don't get it there, my ball's never going to see it. So
got it. Yeah.
I agree with that. Gotta get it out to the dry, or else it's not going anywhere.
You feel like you're getting dialed in now in that second shot?
Yes, felt better.
So you loved the Absolute. I think I'll check with Kyle, but I don't think he loved it. I don't think you necessarily loved it a lot, but you loved it.
I loved it.
Has the Absolute Power replaced it for you, or not?
Probably not replaced, because I feel like the Absolute became like an irreplaceable sort of ball in my bag, but I think it's a really good complement to it. So not quite replaceable, but definitely a good addition. Okay.
See if you can double. That's right, fella.
Ooh, that was good.
Just throwing them around. It's almost like you have a pro shop here or something.
Almost like a practice on this pair.
Yeah, exactly.
Mouse, what?
That's two bad shots, both struck.
So, what what style would you have this ball in and not a Summit Peak and vice versa? So these two, the Summit Peak coming out at the same time. As a pro shop guy, what's the style that you're going to get this ball into that you would not get a Summit Peak into? What's the situation?
I think it's more so depending on what the customer needs.
It's got air.
The customer's like, hey, my gem's too strong. You know, my stomach, if they had like a TNC infused that was, or something like that, or Sublime that wasn't quite early enough, then like this ball would fit right in that spot pretty well. But in terms of style wise, I would say that this would be really good for higher rev players that want something with a stronger core in it.
Okay.
And then, and even straighter players that don't want to necessarily see the ball hook very early. They like getting the ball down the lane a little bit, but they want something that's still got that solid, smoother shape.
Right.
This ball would make a lot of sense. But as opposed to the Summit Peak, you're going to want to. It's going to be better probably for people that float the ball a little bit more, have softer hands, softer speeds, and stuff like that, just because of the natural makeup.
Would you agree that the absolute power? So a common scenario is house shots getting clipped, which is what Ryan was talking about a little just a second ago.
Right.
Would you say that if you're someone and you're in a clipped environment like that, and your style naturally makes you get further left, that's when you maybe gravitate more to an absolute power versus a Summit Peak, just because of the core?
Yeah, it's a good option. I mean, for sure,
It might blend it a little bit better.
The core will help get it to cut through the oil a little bit easier.
Katie, looking for a here. Oh no. It seems like that lane's getting a little
getting
weird.
awful.
Yeah, getting a little funky or something. That didn't seem that bad, and it just didn't hook.
Yeah, like I said, there was some games bowled on it before, so probably the middle of the lane is pretty pushed
So
down
for
now.
you, they're getting clipped. You mentioned it. You're already kind of experiencing it. Do you feel like the Absolute Power does do a better job at dealing with that as a higher rev player than the Summit Peak, or they both kind of struggle with it?
For me, I kind of struggle with it because typically when they get super close, I'll go spare a bunch of surface.
It's fair.
Just throw it to the friction and get it to slow down. This ball, because it shines up so fast, I feel like if you don't hit it consistently, it's just gonna sometimes it sees, sometimes it doesn't. So
Yeah. Clutch spare there.
Thank you. Appreciate
Keeping
it.
the lead on the family member
Yeah,
here.
trying to put the pressure on it.
And for those of you that are new to watching pink slips, everybody does get one distraction. I should say every player. The open play bowlers down there, they don't get a distraction. Just these three here.
might be a good idea. Bring one down here.
They get one distraction each. They can
That's a
impact
good shot.
the ball path, or they can impact where the bowler's throwing it, but they can do anything else to try to mess up their shot.
Finally a good shot.
Kyle seems to be out to an early lead. That spare temp was huge, keeping you ahead of Ryan. Ryan seems to be really struggling right now with the wet dry.
Yeah,
I don't.
a little bit of a struggle.
Ryan,
no way he
walk
wants
us
to be
through a little
weather
bit.
dry.
What are you thinking on this shot? What are you planning on trying
I'm
to do
either
to combat
thinking
it?
about moving right and taking the lane out of play, or moving way left and just gearing down.
Got it.
So I haven't decided yet.
And gearing down just meaning
Softer speed.
slowing the ball.
Probably got to move left and
Yeah.
gear down. So
Got it. So
That's a
I was
typical
talking to the guys from their point of view on the difference between the Summit Peak and Absolute Power. For you, what is the difference between those two balls, being a slightly straighter?
Yeah, so I think the Absolute Power goes, well, I shouldn't say, I'll rephrase that. The Summit Peak goes a little bit longer, has a little bit stronger rear back end, which is, I typically go for more shiny balls anyway.
Okay.
So the Absolute Power is a little bit earlier of a roll, but it is a little smoother. So they're just a little different.
Just a little different.
But yeah, I think they're very complementary to each other too.
Okay,
So
cool.
yeah.
Sounds good. So
Ryan?
it sounds to me, guys, two pro shop guys, sounds to me like general rules that would apply to all styles is Summit Peak's a little cleaner.
Yep.
Absolute Power is just a little bit sooner. And then outside of that, depending on where you like to play on the lane, are you talking about a house shot where they're getting clipped or sport? It would maybe possibly vary a little bit from there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like the Summit Peak is going to
We
be.
do have a distraction here. We don't know what he's doing. It's either a distraction or a bathroom.
using a distraction.
Let's see what's going here. Spare tire in hands. Oh god, that was loud. Oh man. I really
I was half
like this
expecting
idea
that.
of having family in all the Pink Slips ball reviews. We're talking about having potentially getting Corrine and Derek A Cup on some of the Brunswick Pink Slip ball reviews. I like this idea of having family in the Pink Slip ball reviews for you guys.
Yeah, it's pretty
The
interesting.
grudge won't stop here.
There's a real genuine savageness that exists, It's
Oh, that's funny.
see if she can make the spare.
Oh, miss it.
Oh,
Made the
Oh, yeah.
Didn't even need a distraction for that one.
So,
Oh,
I think we talked a bit about the cliff between the two balls. What about sport shots? Do you think you'd be more likely to throw the Summit Peak because it's a little maybe smoother because it's symmetrical, or the cover's too clean, or like what do you think you're more likely to throw in sport? Or probably not in sport.
Just depending on what the length is. If it's a little shorter, mid to like late 38 to 42, I'd probably throw Summit Peak just because it's cleaner, and to me it revs up a little more in the mid lane.
Okay.
Easy.
Absolute Power, probably higher friction, longer patterns, just
Okay.
because it's clean too, and there's balls here that replace that. So
Right. Okay. All right, Ryan needs a pretty big shot here. He moved left and he definitely geared down a lot, like 3 or 4 gears.
Oh.
push a lot.
Needs help. Oh!
got the help.
Wow. How do you feel about that?
I feel alright.
Feel all
I got
right?
something coming.
Is it kind of like Bill O'Neill's Brooklyn telecast at Players? Like, what Brooklyn? Did you watch the telecast?
I
did
watched
not.
parts of it.
Yeah. It was a tough time slot to watch, but
Very tough.
Oh man.
Hard to go from this football.
well,
Right there,
that was
Awful.
2 gears down and a Tokyo
Okay.
drift to the left.
Yeah. Just practicing for my bucket list of shooting 300 all Brooklyns.
So we still got a close match between you and Katie. We'll see what she has here in the 10th.
I'm feeling
You have a distraction left.
I do.
And she has a
Yeah.
distraction left, right?
You should probably use that right now.
Yeah, we'll see. Who are you wanting to help out today?
No.
It's definitely going towards
Try
me.
to.
That looks pretty good. She caught it. Oh, messenger flying front.
Yeah.
Wow. So I was asking him out for you. What do you think you would most likely throw in sport between these two bowling balls?
Probably the power.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because it's more predictable.
Just a little more predictable.
Yeah, I mean,
Summit Peak might be like at the end of a block when they're really flying.
yeah. What you find is when you bowl in sport, you don't need the core strength because there's just not as much a puddle of oil in the middle. So like, even though this has got a really strong core, the cover's not the strongest cover on the market. So it still helps it get down the lane. As long as it's not reading too early, that's kind of the problem.
Right.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Come on, first time.
I'm a rookie.
But so with it being controllable, even though it's an asymmetric ball, it just seems like it's gonna make the tournament back for sure.
Right.
Yeah. The Summit Peak might be one of those balls where it comes in and out of the tournament bag. Like if I have unlimited bowling balls, it's going. But
Yeah.
you know, if I have to pick between Sublime Journey, Summit Peak, we might go a different of those 3 combos just to separate them differently.
Yeah. Or maybe if you're blowing in someplace you know is a high friction surface. or
Exactly.
something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Right. Makes sense. As always, those of you looking to pre-order or purchase this bowling ball, you can always use code PINKSLIPS at checkout at virtuebowling.com to get 5% off the bowling ball. Kyle, going for a perfect score here. We've only had one other person do it. Ooh. And let's see if he...
Don't you have a distraction?
Not for him.
Prevent that perfect score?
Let's see if he can bring it home. Matt, our very own Matt Jones. Oh, that's pretty good.
It's almost like he bowls.
Kyle, what's your score in pink slip so far? Do you know?
140, I think.
140?
I think it was 140.
Spare sheet?
I think so.
I'm trying to remember the
It's either
ball. that
140
Matt-
or 139, which is
The ball that Matt Jones did it with, I think, was...
New Blue.
No, I think he did it with Extreme Envy.
Remember. So you can make it
Still
two.
other brands. Speaking of Matt and Hammer, you going Storm or Hammer? You got to pick.
Ooh. Storm.
Storm. What about you?
Probably
pretty good,
storm
too.
balls.
good shot.
Typically,
All right,
it's
one
too
more.
early, and with how hard I throw it, they just don't have enough energy down lane.
Down lane.
The HK22 has been better. Okay.
I got the power.
But at the end of the day, I go with the proven performance. So.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, well, I mean, once you find the brand and the covers that really match up to your style, I mean, that's how it goes.
I've decided I'm going to go in with a distraction.
Yes. Oh, cold-blooded. I like it. Kyle, anything you're focusing on here besides trying to not focus on
God,
what she's doing?
I was gonna do some myself. This is fun.
She does not want the perfect score here.
Comments
I
are
like
gonna be hating on this one.
Let's see if it works.
You might have to cut this one. Damn it!
Still save. Still the only perfect score in pink slips.
Oh, that was a good shot. Thanks.
All right, Ryan needs a mark here. Very still close ending, just like the Summit Peak video. If you guys haven't checked that out, check that out. Ryan needs a mark here.
Oh my God,
He
another bad shot.
almost missed the entire pin last time.
I'll probably miss this.
What do you think? Does he make it?
I don't have a lot of confidence in
So
his
what-
ability, but no, it's great.
What made
Mark
you decide to use the distraction on Kyle and not Ryan?
Well, I was originally gonna use it on Ryan for sure, without
Yeah.
a doubt, and then I was like, well, I'll just see.
Push!
Back
Oh
up.
man. My idea was that I'll just see if Kyle can get a perfect
gotta get
score
9.
despite me
You need 8.
doing whatever
I need
being
8,
down
yeah.
there.
Sure.
Eight
I
for
don't
the
think
win.
I affected him too much,
Yeah.
but yeah.
You think she made you grab it a little bit? Did it just hook more than you expected? Or?
No, I thought they were good. I just
Okay.
clearly didn't throw as good as I thought.
Got it.
So now I kind of regret using that,
Yeah.
and I should
8
use
for
it
the
on
W.
Ryan, but
That's all right. So how has this is actually your second pink slips.
yes.
You guys can watch the Summit Peak was her first video.
Yes.
What do you think so far, pink slips?
Super fun. I love it. I love the atmosphere and the vibes, and I'm used to bowling with Ryan and Kyle, so
Yeah.
it's a good time. Yeah, I really like it.
Cool. So real quick, 1 out of 10. What do you guys think of the absolute power 10 being really good score?
9.5.
Probably 8 out of 10.
Yep, I think this one's got a lot of hype for good reason. Not often you have 2 ball releases, Summit Peak, Absolute Power at the same time, and both are really good. And both of these are really good for a lot of different styles. So
I agree.
we're going to let the winner take over the booth. And as
right.
always, guys, thanks for watching. If you want your chance to win Katie's Absolute Power, make sure you hit the bell, make sure you subscribe, and comment down below.
The victory formation again. This
Wow.
is cool.
You're so good.
You're awesome.
I thought I had the perfect game for sure.
It was a good shot. I didn't think you have it.
4-9, shocking. Don't do that at all. Only cost me 800 last week.
Yeah.
No big deal. I'm not salty at all, people.
Right.
Anyways, absolute power. This ball is something. If you're looking for that asymmetric piece that has a little bit more of that mid-lane shape to it, kind of trying to get something that pops a little bit harder than like a phase 2 or a summit, I think this is the ball. So throw the summit at the start and it gets a little bit forward on you. A little bit left of this one I think will be optimal for you. I don't think it's going to be the best first ball out of the bag every single time. I do think it's going to be more once the transition starts, and then you can kind of ride that ball for a long period of time. For me, I've thrown it entire times during leagues a few times. I mean, roll's pretty good the whole time. The only thing about this ball for me that I have trouble with is putting it down. So when it starts to kind of lose some pin carry, it doesn't look like it's going to not strike, but there's some times where it gets on the not strike part. It rolls so good that you want to throw it a lot. So for me, it's when it stops striking. That's when it's hard for me to put it down. But Ryan, what do you think?
Absolutely. I
That's a
agree.
good one.
I think for me, for league, I like it during the third game when things get maybe a little weird, kind of cuts through some of that weirdness. So kind of like you said, it's not going to be the first ball that I grab, but it might be the last one that I grab. So I really like the absolute power so far.
All right. Thanks for joining us, guys. Like, comment, subscribe like Craig was telling you to do. We'll catch you in the next one.